Hi everyone, we're going to learn about standard form or equations written in standard form. You may have seen this before, you may not. The majority of the time we use the equation in slope-intercept form, but now we're going to learn a new way to write an equation. This way is going to help you figure out other things in the future of IM9. So let's go ahead and fill in the note-taking guide. The first thing is the learning target and the homework I'm assigning. The learning target is I can write an equation in standard form, and the homework is 3.2 day 1. Okay, so let's just start out with an example. The Marshall High School Athletic Association sells tickets for the weekly football game. Students pay $5 and adults pay $10. How much money would the Athletic Association collect if they sold 100 student tickets and 50 adult tickets? Well, if it's $5 for every student ticket, let's multiply 5 times 100 because 100 student tickets were bought. And we're earning money from the adult tickets. It's $10 we earn for every adult ticket, and 50 tickets were purchased. So we'll multiply 10 times 50. The total amount of money they made is $750 for selling the 100 student tickets and 50 adult tickets. I'm going to let you finish B and C on your own. Down here for number 2, explain how you can determine the total amount of money collected if you know the number of student tickets sold and the number of adult tickets sold. So step 1 is you can figure out how much money you made from the student tickets. By doing that, you would take the cost of the student ticket and you multiply by the number of student tickets sold. The second step is almost the same as the first. We would take the cost of the adult ticket and multiply by the number of adult tickets sold. And then you can add the profits together from the student tickets and the adult tickets. And that would give you your total profits that you made. Well, that's kind of a long-winded explanation, so why don't we write an expression to represent the total amount of money collected for any number of tickets sold. The variables need to be defined because if you use X or you use Y, we don't know if that represents students or adults. So I actually used S to represent the number of student tickets sold. And I used A for the number of adult tickets sold. Okay, so my variables are defined. Now I can set up my expression. I know it's $5 for every student ticket sold. So the cost times the number of student tickets sold, plus $10 for the adult tickets sold, so 10A, equals the total profits, or the total sales. So you wrote an expression that represents two different quantities, the number of student tickets sold and the number of adult tickets sold. Let's go to the next page. The football team is playing an out-of-town tournament. The Athletic Association needs to raise $3,000 to send the team to this tournament. The money raised from selling the tickets to a special event home game will be used towards the tournament cost. So it says write an equation to represent this problem situation using the same prices from problem 1. Well, we know that it's $5 for every student ticket sold, plus $10 for every adult ticket sold, and we need to earn exactly $3,000. How does this equation differ from the function you wrote in problem 1 on the front page? Well, the only difference is between my expressions is now I have an exact amount for my total sales. It's a set amount. Number 3 says, Carla and Robina sell game tickets. They have already sold 95 tickets. Carla says they need to sell 252 tickets to reach the goal of $3,000, but Robina says they need to sell 253 tickets to reach the goal. Who is correct? So let's take what we know and use that to start. So we know they've sold 95 student tickets. So why don't we let S represent the 95 student tickets sold? Let's substitute S into our expression and solve for the amount of adult tickets we need to sell. So we have 5 times 95 plus 10 times the adults, and we know we need to raise $3,000. So after you do your algebra, I'm not going to do this part with you, you can calculate this. I ended up having A equal 252.5. Well, you can't sell half a ticket, right? So you need to round to either 252 or 253. Now we decide who is correct. Well, I substituted 252 tickets back into my expression to see how much money I would make. When I used 252 adult tickets, I only made a profit of $2,995. Well, that doesn't meet the goal. So then I tried to round up to 253. When I rounded up and I calculated 253 adult tickets, I calculated a profit of $3,005, which meets the goal. So who is correct? Robina. Robina says they need to sell 253 tickets to reach their goal, and she is correct. Standard form is the appropriate way to write this expression. I'm going to erase this. Standard form allows you to use two different quantities at one time, just like we did for the $5 and the $10. So how standard form is written would be AX plus BY equals C. C is a constant number. It's the exact amount. A and B represent two different quantities, and X and Y are the units for those quantities. Now, this is helpful because in the future, you're going to be asked to find the X and the Y intercepts of this expression, and you need to have it in this form to do that. Also, you can't use slope-intercept form to write an equation with two different quantities, right? You wouldn't have enough variables to use. So standard form is the appropriate way to write these types of scenarios. You can go ahead and try to write these scenarios. Not try, I know you can do it, for number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 4 has you determine how many bracelets she would need to sell if she sells 23 pairs of earrings. Number 1, 2, 3, you just have to write your expression and then define what your variables mean. So if you use X and Y, you need to tell us what that means.